Nothing but lies and lies and more lies. And if you're not mad, you're not paying attention. The left used to have a saying, if you're not pissed, you're not paying attention. Now it's the same thing, except on our side. All right, so I'm going to share with you a real world example of the lies that have been perpetuated because of the commie virus and how it's literally killing people. And I'm going to share with you proof of that once and for all. And if this bothers you, you're a conspiracy theorist, Josh. Yeah, get on out. I don't need you here, that's for sure, because the evidence is overwhelming for those who are just have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Unfortunately, I don't think we're in the majority, my friends. I don't. And it's going to get bad before it gets better. Actually, anyway. All right, so let's go. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Before that, I'm going to share with you the Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis, one of my favorite, probably top 3 books of all time, which I try to read once a year because it keeps me founded. It keeps me on my foundation of trying to be in the straight and narrow. All right, Screwtape Letters Screwtape is an uncle. He's a tormentor on behalf of the great one below, Satan. And his job is to teach tormentors in training how to bring souls to Satan. And the way he does this is he says, I have experience of won many souls for Satan on behalf of his long career. And he's trying to train Wormwood, who is working on this guy in the UK. Now, it's a fantastic read. Everything's good about it. And I guess I'll spoiler alert, but Wormwood is working on this guy. He thinks he's got him, then a couple times he doesn't. He thinks he's got him, then a couple times he doesn't. He's like, I got this guy. World War II comes around, and Wormwood's convinced that he'll be able to get this guy now because of hatred during the war, blah, blah, blah. And Screwtape's like, look, dude, I've been around. Wars are always bad for our side because it makes people recognize that their life is fleeting. And thus they say, look, I don't know what's going to happen, but I might not be here tomorrow, so let me give it to God. Anyway, Wormwood doesn't believe it. And then the guy he's trying to torment dies in a bomb that went off probably during the Blitzkrieg or something like that. Anyway, the interesting thing is, when the guy dies, he sees the angels, the bright light, the angels, and then he looks and he sees Wormwood. And he says to the angels, it's you, the whole time it's been you, i.e. his guardian angel, if you would. He doesn't say that, but that's the insinuation. And then he sees Wormwood, the devil. And Wormwood scurries off, ugly, disgusting, just a negative, disgusting piece of filth. And Wormwood sees the beauty that's the angels, not Wormwood, the guy sees the beauty that's the angels. And he's just like, you were here all the time. It's been you all the time. And I tell you, I see that when the masks get torn off, you see the filth that is the globalists. And I'm going to share with you how this all flows back. It's disgusting. And you wish you didn't see it, frankly. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And you can't not know what their agenda is and how evil it is. But it's not just as evil. It's disgusting. It's filth, is what it is. And going back to Wormwood, when the guy, the UK, the Englishman, sees him after he dies, and the mask is torn aside, he says, the guy just scurries away because the light of the angels so dominates him that he cannot stand to be in the presence of the glory of God. It's incredible, that has always happened. There's a part in one of those Harry Potter movies, and I never got in those too much, but my kids did. And they had this lady who is, second or third in command of whatever that bald head guy's name was, whatever, the Voldemort or something like that. And it's interesting because she's trying to, I don't want to say she's trying to be, but she basically, how can I say this? It's like she prostitutes herself, if that makes sense. Trying to be kind of sexy, and yet there's nothing but filth there. She's like, look, I'll convince you that I'm sexy, that I love you and all this, but it's just filth. And that's the thing with evil. It lies. And that's what the whole thing about Screw Tape Letters is so, for me, it was so, it just shows you that it's all lies. You think you're being told the truth. You think that if you engage in a certain behavior, a certain level of animosity, a certain level of hatred, it'll make you better. Ugh. Yikes. What the hell is that? You think this, and then Screw Tape and Satan, they just lie. That's what Screw Tape Letters was so important to me. It's just all, the foundation is built on lies. And by the time you see, it's too late. Satan, you lied to me. Yeah, what are you going to do about it? It's kind of like Nelson from Simpsons. Ha ha! So just remember that as you're going down to a level of animosity, of hatred, of anger, and you feel like, oh man, I'm going to feel so much better when I get this off my chest. I'm going to feel so much better when I engage in this activity, blah, blah, blah. It's all lies. That's what evil is. All right. So let me go back to the story about this guy I'm working with, he and his wife today. A real live person. I just talked to this guy 3 weeks ago. He was fine. We're talking about retirement planning. Can he retire? Blah, blah, blah. Just talked to him. You know, kind of ran the numbers a little bit. Yeah, good to go. But he wants to bring his wife on because his wife basically has lots of cases. One spouse will leave it to the other spouse for the long-term financial planning. And he said, yeah, that'd be great. I'd like to get her involved just to show the results and make sure we're good to go, that she has an understanding. Didn't hear back from him for a couple weeks. I was like, hey, okay, well, maybe he's, I don't know. I'm just, to be honest, I've been so busy. I just said, okay, well, he'll get back to me when he gets back to me. If he does, fine. Good guy. I know I get an email a couple days ago. He had coronavirus. Big time coronavirus. And it like knocked him out. He was on death's door. And so he goes, I'm getting over it now, but I just want to revisit this when my wife is available. So, she's available, and it turns out today, just a few hours ago. So I get to talking to him. I'm thinking, oh boy, is he going to be like one of these guys? Josh, you're not taking it seriously enough. He wasn't like that or not like that. That's not the point. The point was his wife, and his 17-year-old son all had coronavirus. 17-year-old son just lost his sense of taste and smell for 2 weeks, and basically is back to being fine now. Wife had it like a regular flu. Knocked her out like a regular flu. She's back to good. She's good to go. He, on the other hand, had a fever. I think he said like 102 for 8 straight days. Couldn't eat. Was delusional. Didn't know his freaking butt from the hole in the ground. That kind of stuff. He was on death's door. Lost 16 pounds. What did the docs do? Ibuprofen, Tylenol. Huh? Ibuprofen and Tylenol. I've been taking that. After 8 days, I've still got a fever, 102. Hasn't gone away. What the hell? His wife's a pretty persistent Cajun, and she ain't putting up with that crap, let me tell you. But we'll get in that here in just a second. So this guy's like on death's door, man. He can't. They sent him to the hospital. Hospital calls the wife back a couple hours later, says, there's nothing we can do for you. We're going to have to send you back. And his wife's like, well, what the hell? What am I supposed to do? His wife's like, what do we do? Oh. Anyway, so thankfully, they did send her home, because I was talking to another lady who herself is having just a sudden issue with someone of her loved ones, which is, I won't get into that. But anyway, who told me that they don't usually let people see the patients in coronavirus hospitals because they don't want to affect everybody, blah, blah, blah. And so she's working with people who are literally dying, taking their last breaths, and she's trying to console these people, almost like a priest at last rites, and she's got a hazmat suit on, gloves, face shields, and she's holding a phone up for a guy who can say to his loved ones that he loves them. It's freaking evil stuff. All right, so guess what happens? This guy's about to die. His wife thankfully knows a doctor who is not against prescribing hydroxychloroquine, or whatever it's called. All these other docs said, oh, I can't do it. Can't. She goes to this one doc who she has a personal relationship with, who basically says, she says, can you prescribe it? He goes, maybe. She goes, I need it. I don't care. Just, anyway. He was saying maybe because he's like, I can't say I do because, my medical license is at stake. Prescribes it to this woman, gives it to the husband. 4 hours later, 4 flippin' hours later, the fever breaks. He's starting to get back on his feet. Governors have banned the use of this. And people are dying because of it. I have it unequivocally, anecdotal that it is, that still someone's life was saved because of hydrochloroquine. Why are people not allowed to prescribe it, doctors? Because it's politics. Politics is putting your life at risk, all for the grand scheme of the global elite, so they can get Trump out of there and take over what they thought they had in 2016. They thought they had it. Other than about 100,000 people in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, they would have as well. And we would not be having this conversation because what they're wanting to accomplish would have been so far ingrained, it would be too late for us to do anything about it. So what are they trying to accomplish? Well, obviously it's mandatory vaccines. Why do you think they're so against hydrochloroquine? And if I'm pronouncing it wrong, well, I don't care. Sue me. They don't want a solution other than a vaccine. Why do you think Ezekiel Emanuel said, we're going to have to be locked down for 18 months until a vaccine can be found? Do you think that's because he's worried about you getting coronavirus? No, because that's how they assume control. How can you not see this with your very eyes? Do you think Bill Gates gives 2 craps about you? He's part of freaking population control, man. They don't give a crap about you. They think there's too many humans as there is. Do you think Bill Gates wants to save lives? How can you be, how can you be that, oh man, that gullible or naive? These people are about population control. They donate to Planned Parenthood. They donate to population control groups throughout the world. They want to force vaccines on third world poor people. Force sterilizations. You think they're against China's one-person policy? Hell no. Going back to this lady, she's telling me that, I think she said her niece lives in South Korea. Kids are going to school in literal boxes? Boxes? Wooden boxes? This is freaking disgusting. To avoid a disease that is less, virulent or more deadly than a freaking regular flu for the vast majority of us, which we have some solutions for, not for everybody. We don't have we don't have solutions for the flu, never mind the common cold, never mind cancer. I'm sitting there just astounded how people could be so gullible. To think that these people have your best interests at stake. The same people who finance Planned Parenthood, population control groups, UNESCO. It's insane to me, man. UNICEF. It's freaking insane. And once the mask is torn off and you see it with someone who is actually affected, who could be dead. I just talked to this guy 3 freaking weeks ago. He was fine. He's a raging Cajun. He's not a shrinking violet or a snowflake. This guy kick your butt. 2 weeks later, he's on his death's door. 4 hours later, just to thank the goodness, they know some doc who's willing to freaking tell the people, I'm going to do this, I'm going to save lives. And he's back to spend hopefully 30 more years with his beautiful wife. But no, we got some Nigerian African lady who believes something that we don't believe in. That's crazy. Okay. What does that have to do with her experience with hydrochloroquine? Well, she's crazy. All right, again, what does that have to do with her experience with hydrochloroquine? Don't you see? She's from Africa. They're voodoo people down there. Oh, that's pretty much racist. Well, I'm not being racist. I'm just saying, I don't want to listen. I don't want her to prescribe me. Then don't do it. When you get freaking coronavirus, do something else. Why should I, though, because you don't like this woman, why should I have to suffer or die? Well, we know why. Because you're willing to do anything it can to get Trump so the globalists can take over, to force these vaccines on us, to keep us from hugging, from smiling, from touching, from sharing freaking church events, from going to Thanksgiving dinner. And you're just going to sit there and say, as long as it keeps me safe, Josh, because remember, we need more ventilators. If you don't have ventilators, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people are going to die. Says who? Well, that's what I heard, and I trust what I heard. You're like, okay, that's not proven anymore. That's absolutely wrong. Well, it says you. You don't have a PhD, or you're not an epidemiologist. You're just some freaking guy walking with a T-shirt on. Okay, well, okay. Guy walking with a T-shirt on. Huh. So inherently, I can't observe and see what the hell's going on out there, which is hydrochloroquine. And again, I screw you guys. You're like, oh, you're pronouncing it wrong. I don't care. You know what I'm talking about. In fact, if I pronounce it wrong, it's probably better for the algorithm. And people take this and save their lives. And you're going to sit there and say to me, it's okay to say no one can take that from some freaking half-assed governor in Michigan or whatever state you're in. And Louisiana is run by a Democrat governor, if memory serves. Is his name John Bel Edwards? Has he been? I don't know. I don't know what he's done. At least he's allowing for LSU to play football, it looks like, so good on him. I don't know what the Department of Health in Louisiana is doing, but why is it so difficult to get a drug that's unequivocally proven to have saved some people's lives? Well, Josh, it could kill people too. The dude's freaking dying. He can make that decision for himself. He's a big boy. He's got big boy pants. He's sitting there dying. 8 days of taking ibuprofen and freaking aspirin and Tylenol, I should say, and his fever is still at 102. He's dying in front of his very eyes. Hydrochloroquine, 4 hours later, good to go. It's some evil stuff, my friends, and you're seeing it. You're seeing like freaking that guy from Screw Tape Letters saw Wormwood. But they're not scurrying because we're few and they're large, at least in terms of, maybe not numbers, but in terms of megaphones. And the media still has control like you would not believe. I cannot believe how strong the media is. I cannot believe how many people just fall hook, line, and sinker. Like I said yes in my live stream, the media has facts and facts of fact checkers, or layers and layers of fact checkers, where just a guy walking his T-shirt down a road doesn't. And yet CNN posted a visual that says the 104th racing of NASCAR's Indianapolis 500. Whoa, those fact checkers, man, they're really checking the facts, aren't they? And that's just one of many examples of the insanity and idiocy of the mainstream media. They don't know what the hell they're talking about at all. Hey, I'm pissed. I'm pissed I could have lost the guy. Freaking pisses me off. And people just sit there, well, trust in Fauci. Yeah, freaking scumbags, all these guys. They like this. It puts them center of attention. It lets them command and control your life, the way you run your kids. That's nuts. I can't believe we're here. And it's only going to get worse, man. They want control. And we're just sitting there like little sheep. It's okay. Dude, you're not going to die. Well, don't you? Whoa, whoa, whoa. How do you argue with people who are just so scared? I don't know. I don't know. The zombies have taken over, and they don't want brains. They don't want to eat brains. They don't want to use their own is what it is. Pray for people, man. That's all we can do is just pray. Now we'll see you.